more Asian people. The problem is, I have yet to see Rambo 5, The Battle with Testicular Cancer. And that movie would be a little different. That movie would start with him in the shower going, hey, there's a lump down there. And then Rambo would finally come up against an enemy he could not defeat on his own, and he would call Dr. Schlossman. Now, Dr. Schlossman is not so good with an M60 light machine gun, and he probably wouldn't stand up under dental torture, and he probably couldn't take out a Soviet Mi-24 gunship with an explosive bow and arrow. But the Schloss knows his ball cancer. Because he is what's called a specialist. And that is the reason we are all here tonight in our artificial cave, under our artificial sun, in this ridiculously brightly lit artificial oasis called Las Vegas, and the saber-toothed cat, and the giant jaguar, and the short-faced bear, and all the other apex predators who used to turn us into Slim Jims are now in museums sucking it. Because a long time ago, we realized the key to survival was to get a group together where everybody did one thing all the time really, really, really well. They said, oh my God, this is amazing. You can throw a spear better than anybody. Don't do anything else. All right, no, stop cave painting. You just throw that spear every day. And you, oh my God, you like know how to take grass out of the, and weave it into baskets so we can like put stuff in it and then go from one point to another. Put the spear down. That's all you're going to do. And you, oh my God, you told us that like the reason that lightning struck over there means that we have to give you all our virgins. You be the priest. And that's how you do it. You get together and you start figuring out what people's specialization is. And if you don't have one, you better learn really quickly. And look, sometimes specializations have morphed over time. Some of you may not even have what you think are survival skills, but you do, because I'm looking out over some of you, okay? And I can see, I don't see a lot of farmers, and I see some people who grow their own weed. No problem. Find these people and teach them about something called crop rotation, and you're off and running. But it's not enough just to find specialist skills. You also have to make sure that your personality meshes. Okay, now this is really important because, look, it's not enough for you to all get together before the apocalypse. You have to think, well, is this someone I want to spend the rest of eternity with, rebuilding society? And that's okay, because we have something very special in this country called alcohol. And I tend to call it getting to know you on fast forward. Which is great. You don't have to spend like months and years vetting people, all right? You can do it in one night. You get together, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a field surgeon. What do you do? Oh, I'm a tracker. Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh, I think we're going to get along really well. And then you get a little drunk, keep adding a little more Jaeger to the Snapple, and then put on a controversial film and see how they react. And if halfway through it, he says, well, I mean, I can see Ike's point of view. Tina was kind of asking for it. They don't know. Thank you. I'm going over here. So in the vetting process, that is why my book, The Zombie Survival Guide, has been placed in the humor section. Because this is important. It's going to come as a shock. A lot of people don't think the zombie apocalypse will happen. And I know. Well, you don't want to go over and scare them. You don't want to say, oh my God, I saw Max Brooks speak, it was unbelievable, and we talked, and we said, we need to arm ourselves. And it's not going to go over well. You take the book, you put it down, your friend, your roommate, your spouse comes in, oh, what's this? Oh, Zombie Survival Guide. I saw this guy Max Brooks speak tonight, he's funny. Yeah, I mean, not that funny. He did look like the guy from 2 and a Half Men. Oh, really? Oh my God, look at this book. It's everything is in here. I know everything. It's like, what would you do, and what would you use, and what would you take, and how would you survive? Oh my God, this guy was never getting laid. I know! Yeah, wow, it's everything you could possibly, yeah, I know, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? And that's how you get them. You get them slowly and carefully with a laugh and a smile. Just like Scientology. So at this point, I would like to bring the house lights up a little bit and start to take your questions and see what you have to say about survivalism. Who's going to be the first one to overcome their social anxiety disorder? Man, yes, sir.
World War Z, what was your favorite scenario or your favorite portion?
Oh, that's a very good question. For those of you who don't know, I wrote this book, World War Z. If there's any Canadians in the audience, you should leave. But World War Z, that's what you people call it. What was my favorite? You know, it's kind of like choosing your kids. Which I don't have to, I only have one. I like them all. I'm all very into them, and I understand certain things play well with certain people that don't necessarily, I might be more into. Like for me, I love, the whole reason I sat down to write the book was to think about the big picture. Because every zombie story I've ever read or everything I've ever seen is always a little micro story. It's like a little survival group, and they got to get from somewhere, and that's cool, and I love that. But I'm always the nerd asking the questions, like, well, where is the government? What are other countries doing? And how would you feed 100 million refugees? So for me, I like the big chapters where I'm like, how do you equip an entire army to fight a whole war across a whole continent? Yes, sir. Yes, young man.
Weren't you in...
2.5 Men?
The show on the History Channel, The Living History of Zombies?
Yes, I was. Yay! History Channel. Yes, I was in the show Living History of Zombies on the History Channel, and we all talked about zombies, and it was really cool. And I hate to say this, I haven't seen it, because I was actually on the road when it aired. So I hope I did okay. This is the problem. Look, I'm glad this is not me. No, I'm not. Please give me more. No. I'm half Jewish and half Italian, which means I'm very animated, which is totally fine when it's just me. But I don't know. Did you guys see Deadliest Warrior? Right, I was on Deadliest Warrior, and the problem was I was there with all these wasps, these sedate Scotch, Irish, Maggie Makowitz and Dr. Dorian who pretends he's a wasp, and they all talk like this. Well, I think when discussing the speed of a zombie, what we need to do is factor in the weight ratio to the weight potential. And that was good. That's how they all. And then there was me going, I don't think that this is the way it should be. They will destroy you. I don't know what the PC term. There's a word for that. A word when I was a kid called a spaz. So that's why I won't watch that. Anyone else? Yes.
That was actually my question about Deadliest Warrior. What did you think of the results?
Oh, what I think the result, for those who didn't see it was vampires versus zombies. Vampires won. Look, that's all right. I had problems way before that. We're talking about a show where the Viet Cong fought the Nazis and the Nazis won. Really? We couldn't beat the Viet Cong? And the Krauts could? Right. Because I'm a big nerd. I watch this stuff, and I yell at the screen. I'm like, Ref, are you blind? Anyone else? Yes.